heck yes, unexpected plot twist. Also, I gotta admit, tiny win but a win all the same for what the fudge. Also, just a little reminder again, what I'm trying to do lately to drum up the subscriber number is just to say, hey, I love your faces, please be sure to hit that button and subscribe, and in return, I'll keep throwing good content your way. They can take another win here as well for the plot twist itself. I love the idea that due to the threat from that cave that they set up walls and guards. That's clever and realistic for an isekai. Using this cute vibe throughout to really contrast her destructive nature. From their view it's horrific, and from ours it's, oh look, a little spider! Talking about horrifically awesome looking things, let me tell you about a little game called Raid Shadow Legends, now even better than ever before since it features hundreds of unique champions. Just be sure to use my link below or scan the QR code to download Raid yourself to your mobile phone or PC. I've been playing Raid for a while now and I've been using champions like Minaya, since this little Red Riding Hood looking champion is actually one of the toughest supports in all of Raid. She heals everyone like an absolute beast, and if she's got Kurana on her team, she also gets right back up after she dies. Plus she's kawaii. My boy Archmage Helmut is tough to get. He's only from the Doom Tower, but he's super worth it as the guy is good essentially everywhere. He fills his own turn meter, he stuns enemies, and he boosts SPD and damage on your team. Also, I can't get over how badass he looks. I mean, check out that thick looking armor. Raid's got a ton happening this month with a fresh rotation of the brutal Hydra boss and a bunch of events and tournaments happening every single day, including some special Valentine's Day events where you can get your hands on a brand new legendary champion. This is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen, you'll get a free starter pack worth almost $30. We're talking a free epic champion, Aina, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. Just remember though that these rewards will only be available for the next 30 days and only for new players. So join up quick using the link in the description or by scanning the QR code on screen and get in on the fun. All this treasure will be waiting for you here once you've downloaded the game. So a massive thank you to Raid for sponsoring this video, and I can't wait to see you all in game. Okay, so no lie, I legit thought that was better than the first. The song is amazing, it's really typically catchy, but there's definitely another element to it that I love, but it's hard to place. It kind of sounds like the same singer who did ReZero's, or one of theirs maybe. The visuals are decent, we're teased with upcoming battles and characters and such, very hype building, very good OP. Take one final win here for our hero actually being outside too. I touched on that in the last video, but it's such a huge deal, it needs another win here. We had 12 long episodes locked up. This is massive. Really impressively done and detailed scenery shot of rolling hills of the village in the distance. In no way was that getting a win until she said all of that. I love that unique take on her personality, just makes me chuckle. I guess this gets a really weird plot twist win, and purely because it's based on video game knowledge. Like, she was trying to pull her back into the cave via a skill, but then she has her own skill which nullifies it. So we crack on. I enjoy little nods like that to gaming. I don't know why, but in my fantasy anime, I love elves and dwarves and everything else. Fat wins all around, isn't it? This dude is one of my favourite voice actors, having voiced Griffith in the 1997 version of Berserk, the Wizard King from Black Clover, and perhaps my favourite role as Kira in part 4 of JoJo Diamond is Unbreakable. Using this little scene to nicely paint a picture of their current situation without overtly diving into any needlessly forward exposition. Instead, we're told about prior diplomacy being thrown out the window since she came into play, and the strength of her companions gives us an understanding of what everyone is up against, our spider hero included. Just nicely done. I mentioned it in the prior video, but I'm a big fan of where they're going with this new church, the Word of God thing. I think it's unique, I think it's cool, I'm on board!
Yo,
I thought this was a casual visit! I was relaxed! What's going on? I said it during part 1, but it's worth mentioning again. She really carries this anime with her voice acting. She's brilliant. I really was holding off trying to wrap my head around what was happening before writing, but I have to genuinely say, what a brilliant plot twist. I never saw that coming 16 miles off. Too many plot twists. Plot twist! This is a good time to mention CGI. Again, it's not going to blow you away, but it gets the job done, and it's an excellent example of a scene that would have been a horrific nightmare to animate, so I fully get it. In fact, I just want to quickly slightly go off on a tangent and mention a documentary I watched recently about a Japanese studio making a movie a few years back. It really opened my eyes to their stressful environment with long working hours, and I felt genuinely sorry for one guy. I think I'll link it below if I remember. If not, please remind me. It's worth a watch as it gives you a real understanding of what goes into these things we love so much. I really didn't think that after 12 episodes in there and finally getting out, that 17 minutes into episode 13 would be back! This freaking battle is way more intense than I expected it would be. Classic Cyber Spider So What, ramping it up once again. Being back outside once again, and I must admit, 10% of the win was that casual little hey. Yup, that'll do it, alright. Another great ED breaking away from the mold and doing things differently. Very in your face and dialed up to 11 for intensity. The voice actress of the series shines once again. She does amazing work on these EDs, and I just love the vibe. It's very Guitar Hero. Ending the episode with a twist. Who would have thought they'd do that? Me! That's who! Plot twist!
困るのは我々ケレン領ではなく向こうだということは分かっているはずだろうに
Kicking off the episode with a nice little bit of tasty lore, my favourite dish to start any episode with. Spider-Chan helping is potentially one of the best things to happen this episode because it's opening the doors to all kinds of curiosity in my mind. This is just about the only part of the one-sided battle I can show, but take a win for glorious violence! Okay, go on then.
この世界ってソフィア・ケレンって書いて根岸祥子って読むと
I don't entirely understand what's going on, but you best believe I'm here for every single step of it!
がずるくないなんであっち吸血鬼私クモくんるいきっとエコひいきって連星のエコひいきって何
This is brilliant!
赤ん坊は生かして捕らえろ他の人間は構わん殺せ
How are there so many plot twists? Take 2 wins, my goodness!
何を
兄様何をなさるんです
杖を元に戻せ
Awesome bit of voice acting right there and actually fighting back properly. I mean, he did cross swords with him, but it was incredibly brief. But this scores the win. This is so legit! Also, sadly, I can't show everything naturally, but the battle scenes were nicely animated as always, very smooth, explosive, and well edited.
最上位スキル七大罪の一つ色欲なら例外です。洗脳効果は他の比ではありません。
Oh, you know I enjoy skill talk. You must have heard that in part 1 and thought to include it here, you sassy so-and-sos. Although the fighting itself wasn't really worth pointing out, as I'd wager the budget was a little spent perhaps at this point, it's still worthy of a win for a couple of nicer looking moments, his voice acting, and her taking herself out to protect him. Going first person once again like a cool boy.
ここは日本じゃないんだから。
お前は転生者。Hey!
The incredibly cute dragon is back to pull a JoJo victory from the jaws of defeat situation. She's so cute. It always scores a win when I can remember to add one, and that is when an anime chooses to pack in more content and forego an OP or an ED. Shout out Jobless Reincarnation and ReZero for recent examples of this.
今まで平和な国でぬくぬくと過ごしてきたんですから、少しは私みたいに苦労すべきよ。仰せのままに、魔王様。
End of episode mystery solved, and I was right from part 1 that I thought she was also reincarnated. That's clever, I like where they're taking the story, it's tight!
そうそう、精神への直接攻撃を無効化するんだから痛みはないはずだよ。数字ぐらい出してもいいじゃんか。だって無駄なんだもん。
Actually giving a serious answer to her question. Didn't expect that.
マザーは相当頭が切れるんだと思う。だとしたら何もしてこないこの状況は異常すぎるよ。何かを待っているとか。
This is a strange win. They've actually made me go from barely caring about their attack on her to now fully being invested, worried and anxious and every other synonym you can think of due to the writing from the scene. Like, what is actually going on? That's seriously well played. You hooked me. Well, that visual is terrifying. It's another epic level plot twister! I adore it when they hand animate her character, really brings out 100% of her cute side. It's also rare, so thus means more to me. Again, just nicely bringing skills into it. I'm really glad they never abandoned that once properly getting into the story past the first few episodes. I can't believe we're back underground. I was enjoying the sunlight on my skin. I guess this means I don't really associate the outside with anyone other than her, since we've seen plenty of it from the other characters, but maybe that's natural since she's basically the main one? Let me know your thoughts. They absolutely never stop finding ways to ramp up the tension. First it was other spiders, then those lizard-looking things, then the monkey fight, giant snake, lava monsters, lava whales, massive dragon, and now all of this the past 2 episodes. It's nuts! I just friggin' wrote what I wrote for the previous win, and then you go and throw this at me? So I just mentioned about skills being still mentioned all this way in, and now this here's another example, but it also links into another win from part 1, that being using these skills in a video game type way. Like, let's be real, this here is a method true gamers would come up with to at least not die whilst figuring out how to win. There's so much blood everywhere the past few episodes I couldn't do much, but I wanted to show this bit here and mention how that was the closest I think I've seen her come to losing. It was so tense it's crazy. I think the only other show that looks as hopeless in the face of adversity before pulling her out the bag is JoJo. Brilliant how plot holes are avoided by a quick mention about both food and protection whilst evolving. Would have been so easy to miss that and have people say, oh, should get attacked, they missed that, or whatever. You know your boy loves world maps and stuff, and even though this is a local one, it's still a detailed map. Oh heck yes! Two very brief art style changes. Reintroducing this element to the anime that I had almost entirely forgotten about. If this explanation is going the way I think it is, that's the best twist to the story thus far and may get it a maximum wins award, because that's amazing. Actually explaining it in this fashion really hits me with Shield Hero vibes who did the same, and Tensura too. I love it when they actually explain it basically. Yup, take 2 maximum wins. Although not everything has been revealed and I'm a-okay with that, they teased enough to really whet my appetite, and I cannot wait to find out the entire truth. Another win, because oh my goodness, she was in the class, but is also an admin kind of, and the Demon Lord and Hero were trying to take her out and I'm so confused! Village scenery shot at sunset that genuinely looks gorgeous. Gimme law, gimme law. Shinohara-san? Yeah, alright then, take a cheeky win for her regaining her human form to a degree, minus the wings and stuff. Even though it can be tricky for us who do not speak fluent Japanese, I'm always trying to issue out wins for natural conversations, such as her talking to herself in the background while they talk, most recently praised in Vivi and Jobless Reincarnation. Bathing suit scene! So I waited just to make sure she wasn't imagining this or whatever, but I'm glad to see her outside once more, but also that the cave hasn't been forgotten about, since plans are being made to venture back in to defeat more foes and eventually Big Mama. I'll be real, like 25% of the win is beating her foe, 75% is that end reaction. Mother isn't even defeated yet and they're already setting up the next foe after her? Are they mad? Goodness me, that ending! Totally unexpected! What a wild ride! I mean, how could I possibly not mention the level of detail in that beautiful shot?
迷宮病？
ここじゃ日の光は全く届かねえ。時間の感覚はおかしくなっちまうし、常に魔物を警戒しなくちゃいけねえ。
All of this most definitely serves to paint a picture of what our hero went through and is still going through. I touched on it during part 1 about how she's okay mentally. This is a good follow-up on that note.
こっちから手を出さなければ見逃してくれるんだ。それどころか傷を治してくれたりもする。迷宮の外じゃとんでもねえ大事件を起こしたり、まぐれに人助けもしてたりして。
I'm loving that they're talking about her so casually like this and it's been over 10 years.
雷は耐性があるから効かない。魔法は効かない。防御力も硬い。
I gotta say, battles like this make good use of mixing both CGI and hand-drawn animation.
マジか。
そのマスターは転生者なのか。
そのうちわかる。
そのうち知る。
すぐに知る。すぐにわかる。
I'm so very confused!
何？
どうかしました？
This connection now beginning to form between him and her, finally perhaps moving towards joining their stories for the first time properly.
大きな穴ですね。
かつてこの迷宮の主とも言うべき魔物クイーン・タラテクトがぶち抜いた穴だ。
Outstanding twist in the story and pacing overall to have this quick exit be due to the attack from the Spider Queen that only happened so recently in our minds, yet it was a long time ago. I can really appreciate how this is so far from being straightforward from a time standpoint and how it's been used. They made that entire landscape purely for this short moment, bless their hearts.
私の攻撃を食らってもなお生きてるってことは。
スキルじゃありえない魂への侵食攻撃排除できない。殺さなければ何としてもこいつの本体を。
Ah, this is nuts! Spider Chat is back!
初めは状況がよくわからなかったけど、どうやら私は貴族の娘に生まれ変わったらしい。
Giving us an introduction to this character and taking the opportunity at the same time to also reveal loads more information about the current state of affairs in their part of the world lightly touched on a few episodes ago.
女神教はスキルを女神に捧げれば救われる。真言教は神の声を聞くためにスキルを上げようという競技ですね。
Goodness me, if they aren't leaning in super hard on skills in this episode, revealing two rival religious factions who deal with skills in different ways, it's so in depth for a side element that's becoming a non-side element at this point.
新技名付けて千里呪音ジャガ。
My god, she's got like a sniper rifle evil eye thing now!
おー、エルフか。エルフなのか。なんか説明してるみたい。
This is just getting stupidly intriguing now from a world story standpoint compared to the first half, which was very much wrapped up in the affairs of a classroom and also her time in the cave. But now we've got the religious factions at loggerheads, a kingdom being overthrown, a war is declared between humans and elves, and these elves are trying to desperately kill a little vampire. It's massive and I adore it all.
私が直接動く。ボディマス様自ら。その雲の監視だけは怠らずしておけ。
I thought he was off already! The timeline is so confusing, but at the same time not confusing enough to put me off in any way. It's more like a tangled mystery to sort through as I watch, and I dig that. Actually putting a picture in a picture frame. You'd be amazed at how often they're blank or a solid colour in them. Also though, not walking on the spot when they could have easily been lazy and done a zoomed in head and chest shot instead.
他の盗賊がどこの手のものなのか判明しているか？
世界各国で動きを活発にしている人身売買組織の一員のようです。
I swear this is approaching Game of Thrones level of intrigue. I cannot adequately express how impressed I am by them opening the door to the world of this anime's lore so very far. It's a rush to take it all in.
私の新郎などお構いなしだ。
神獣様と言いましても、正体はエルロー大迷宮から抜け出してきた魔物です。
Overhaul from My Hero Academia.
肝臓ガンって こんなに小さいのに貧しかったのかな。はあ、母親の方もボロボロだな。お願いします。俺やったー、いいこともするもんだな。ありがとうございます。
Words can barely describe how much I love that scene. That was beautiful and at the same time really interesting to have happened during the story, that they see her as a divine beast or something. Brilliant! The very end of the episode gets one last win. 50% is for the fact that in general they keep putting a little extra content at the end, which I really enjoy, and the other 50% is for what's actually happening on screen. I didn't think this anime would turn out like this! If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you'll know I really love armor, probably stemming from my love for RPGs, and that right there is a hell of a set of armor. Oh, okay, he wasn't actually taken out back then. I'm shocked, but most importantly, I'm happy, as like I said before, the dude is voiced by a legend with a badass voice.
結界の外縁部にも到達していない。およそ8万。
8万？そんな数を魔族との戦争中に？
This conversation detailing war plans and numbers. I actually just beat Fire Emblem 3 Houses for the third time on the 21st of November 2021, the day I started writing this script, and so it's great to be reminded of that game via segments like this going over the movement of troops and such.
どうって？
ポティマスだ。
うさんくさいよね、あのおっさん。
Massive shout out to making the Elven village look so wildly different from the human civilizations we've seen to date. Just really shows dedication by the creator and animators and tickles that fantasy element I adore.
見えてきましたよ。あれが転生者の保護区域です。
Lovely.
見て、マジ？本物？もしかして愛とクミ？当たり。
よ、相川蓮太、牧秀斗。
Even though I don't know any of these new characters, there's an odd sense of comfort and warmth at them finally being reunited in this new world. This battle be kicking off just as intense as always. Not gonna show it, but she broke the fourth wall for like the third time, mentioning how the censors are gonna feel about yet another spider decapitation. I didn't see this coming, and it looks great too!
Bye-bye.
And take a final win here for the end to this battle, the best looking one for me effects-wise thus far.
あんたたちが干渉してくるのは協定違反だと思うんだけど。
最後の心中よ。そろそろ我ら古き者は世界から退場すべきではないか。
Oh, what's that? You're pouring even more lore into the story like it's no big deal. I can take it.
ああ、なんかめんどくさいから遠くに移動しよっかな。でもそうすると吸血鬼危なそうだしな。
Consistently having her be worried about the little vampire is a nice touch, obviously including all of the healing she's been doing for everyone too, which shows her kind side is still very much a part of her even after all of those years underground.
返答はいかに？
おっと、長年ぼっちに磨きをかけてきたせいで自分の世界に入りすぎちまってたぜ、いっけね。
Actually addressing this! Probably the first time I've ever seen it done in an anime. Normally they're silent for ages whilst internal monologue rages on.
どうしてもか。そうか。異世界の者から見て、私のしていることは滑稽か。
It's straight up wild seeing this conversation going this route this time, considering how it went the first time. I suppose that's an ideal way to show just how strong she's become since then.
あのクソ虫め、ボロボロになるまでこき使ってやろう。
This is like some Death Note shizzle. She is way too powerful, but at least they never rushed it one iota.
ご報告。大津国が我が国へ宣戦布告しました。
Take a win, baby, we're going to war! The humans are marching on elves, the demons on humans, and even humans on humans. It's awesome!
同じように転生した生徒たちの過去、現在、未来が大まかに記載されるというもの。
Understanding her past since arriving in this new world, how she adapted and what she went through mentally, and best of all, her reaction to learning her precious students would pass away within 20 years and her welling up, that was lovely and tells us a lot about her character.
絶望しました。ほとんどの生徒が20年以内に死亡すると書かれていたのです。私の生徒を助けて！私は全てをポティマスに話しました。前世の記憶があること、生徒名簿のスキルのこと、自分の情報が見られないことと、生徒名簿で知った情報を生徒に伝えてはいけないということです。
And then following it up with this is just beyond brilliant, as it really does a great job of explaining away why several of the students have such a dislike towards her and why they feel as though they're prisoners, but obviously aren't able to be made aware of the fact that they were saved.
私は先生ですから、生徒のためにそう思ってやってきたのに。
Also, take another win here for deep diving on a character. It's been a real rarity thus far, and it's something I hope to see more of soon.
そのような間抜けに気をつけた方がいいのはそちらではなあ。一族の恥さらしが。
I think it's a decent idea to inject an element of racism into this world, although it's very rare in my eyes, having it be from elves to other races, but it's clever and aids the darkness theme, just like it did in games like The Witcher 2 and 3.
神はやがて異界から呼び出された者の命を狙い、その力を奪うと。エルフが転生者の保護に協力的なのは、強いスキルを持った転生者が殺され、その力を管理者に奪われないようにするためなんです。
Finally, we're getting some answers as to why they were brought there, who the admins are, and how the elves are against them. Oh, I'm loving the pacing and lore expansion in this second half. It's been nothing short of brilliant.
でも俺は誰かが目の前で不幸になるのを見ているだけなんてできません。ユリウスも同じことを言っただろう。
Having this moment is a decent way to build his character as the new hero, especially since it nicely ties into a prior statement from the old man who helped them through the cave, where he mentioned running away from something you cannot beat, even if it means people won't make it out alive as a result, and yet here he's standing firm to his beliefs, and I like that.
あ、みんなも逃げた方がいいよ。全員今すぐ外に逃げろ。シュー。
I didn't anticipate things getting so bad so quickly. It was like a whirlwind of an event, one right after the next the past few minutes. Even though it's CGI, and even though some of this CGI this episode has been a little dodgy, the effects are still nice for this part of the battle, and let's be real once more, you aren't doing a huge army fighting another huge army hand-drawn unless you've got 10 years to put it together, you feel me?
先生のその毒に侵された思考も神様が治してくれますから。
ああ、生徒にこんなことするなんて先生失格だ。
君には破れません。
This is getting too much, bruh, but what a story having it be focused on students reincarnated as both the good characters and the bad. Never seen that done, and it's wild. Terminator reference!
違和感がどんどん私と一体になって溶け込んでゆくような。
Now this right here makes for a super interesting notion potentially moving forwards.
はい？なんだ君は。え、何？これどういう状況？勇者？魔王の次は勇者かい？
How is this Julius? What's going on? God, I wish I could fully understand the timeline once and for all. If they don't explain it by the end, I'm gonna have to Google it. It's too intriguing to leave till season 2.
シュン、勇者はこっちで押さえておきます。
ありがとう。
Ariel さんは気にせずあいつをやってきて。
Might sound strange, but take a win for even briefly returning us to hand animation after the previous episode's heavy use of CGI. Like, I get it, but just as I mentioned in part 1, I still obviously vastly prefer hand animation. Like, vastly!
ポティマス様、帝国軍の背後に別の軍の存在を確認しました。
Take a win here for adding yet more mystery to the pot that is this anime story as we see what looks to be quite high-tech gizmos in there suddenly.
この世界は俺のものだろ。まだそんなことを考えていたのか。この世界は
Probably the best looking shot done in CGI in the whole thing, and purely because you can't really do that without CGI.
そうか。魔族軍は帝国軍をおとりにしたんだ。
帝国軍に紛れエルフの里へ進軍するのが目的だったということですか。
Finally understanding now how the several walls are coming together within the story and why it involves different characters.
ユリウス兄様だったらこんな時絶対に逃げ出さない。だったら俺も逃げ出すわけにはいかない。
Shul showing his strength of character by breaking from the common anime trope and deciding to continue fighting even in this instance, even though they really set it up as a coming retreat.
お前は久しぶりだね。久しぶりすぎて忘れちゃったかな。
Yet another new character!
先生は騙されきってるからこっちの言うことは聞かないだろう。
何が真実なんだ。
グローリア起動。
What the hell is going on? They got mechs? What?
正直な話、成功してマジで助かった。マザーから奪った産卵のスキル。
That? I didn't see that coming. She's reincarnated. What happens now? I'm blown away. I'm so confused. It's painful.
数値だけ見るともう敵なしに見えるけど。ま、今回の目玉はステータスじゃなくこの体でしょ。
She's got a new body. She's looking fine too, minus the spider half, but still, she's looking cool. I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's a plot twist and it's a win. Simples.
このまま立ち去ったら育児放棄とかになるのかな。一応親らしくご飯だけでも。千里眼。
Probably an amazing occasion to one last time praise the pacing. This so wasn't rushed. I saw every single moment of her striving to survive and becoming stronger purely to survive, and now we've arrived at this point and seemingly in the future as they fight the hero. It's crazy but so well done.
ここから逆転するには。
Bruh, she turned him into a vampire. They're like a legit other race in this anime. It's gonna be bursting at the seams with its lore in the second season onwards. Her first battle as a sexy humanoider.
少しでも反撃しないと。
So many twists in the story that it's so tangled like a nest of headphone cables. I mean, not in the confusing sense, like I get it, but so many twists.
そうか、右腕ナイフ、体内の空間をねじ曲げたから効いたのか。
As you can guess, not showing much due to the recent denogonification, but it's a joy to see this final battle being done in real animation.
もともと狙われたからやり返してただけで、私が敵対する理由もないからね。
Consider me literally sighing with relief as it hits me that she's basically been in danger near non-stop for 24 episodes and now seemingly isn't. It feels nice to breathe.
ってことで、みんなまとめて魔族寮へ行こう。魔族寮ならエルフから身を守れるし、吸血鬼として生活できるしで一石二鳥。
So like, this is really interesting because it would seem at this point here that maybe the demons aren't actually the bad guys of the story, so that's a huge twist at this stage anyway. And also part of the win is because I'm enjoying learning about the differences between human cities and demon ones, where she says they'll be safe as vampires. Also, for the final time, that's a lovely scenery shot as the sun begins to rest. Lovely colours too.
でも世界を救うヒーローとか。
Oh my god, it just smacked me in the face! I finally realised who all of them actually are. Now it makes total sense. I'm a massive dumbhead for only just figuring it out with 7 seconds left on the clock. Take a final win here, well deserved for that last minute plot twist, for me anyway. Did you guys know? Let me know down below. I really enjoyed that second half. It would have been godlike had it been fully animated, but it is what it is. Thanks so much for watching, subscribe, bell icon, Patreon to pick what I make in the description, and I think that's everything, and of course I'll see your lovely face in the next video, or in whatever video you choose to watch next. Bye bye! Nathan Byrne, Bird Without a Word, Tyler Warner, Ali 50, Kawada Takashiro, Ted L, Isael Caldera, Mr. Waffle 64, Kieran Robinson, Chris Harris, Yona Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Steelers, Matthew Blanchett, Kim Munt, Manuel Morales, Conito, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, The Blitzcloud, Orekeeper, Ketha, Jeffa 6263, Magnus, Kevin Nelter, Brendan Krier, Kaj Vozelman, Sean Graves, The Epic Amanda, Galaxy Boss 22, Leaf Arn Hammer, Sentimento, Keaton 2000, Storm 970, Inakali Underwater, Your Ed Vincent,